Hey everyone, this is a brief tutorial on how to use this simple application that we wrote for microcontrollers and embedded systems in order to test all of the peripherals on the board, or at least some of the more important ones. The first couple of peripherals we'll be testing are LEDs and timers, in which case you actually don't need to do anything to test those. Make sure that when this program is flashed to your board, that each one of these LEDs gets lit in the same order that they are lit on the top here, that they kind of like cycle through each one of these LEDs. This will verify that both your LEDs and timers work. The next thing we want to test is buttons. For each button, you can press the button and you'll see that over here, there's like this little cross, right? The left and the right ones on this cross correspond to the launchpad buttons at the bottom. And you can see that when you tap the buttons, the outline becomes a bit of an orange. And then when you hold the button, the filling of these buttons becomes yellow. So just make sure that, press all the buttons and make sure that they work. Some of the buttons do some helper things, like for example, L1, the left launchpad button. That one should turn off all the LEDs. The next thing that we want to test is UART. So the way that we test UART is we actually want to open a serial terminal. With this terminal, what you want to do, you want to open a serial terminal with default, so like 8 data size, no parity bit and 1 stop bit, 9600 baud, and literally just start typing things in. And you can see that as you type characters into the terminal, you should see that the same characters pop up on the UART at the bottom. The next thing that we're going to test is the stopwatch, which is actually just an extension of the timers. When you tap the top booster pack button, just make sure that you can start and stop the stopwatch. The next thing we're going to test is the joystick. Literally just tilt around this joystick and make sure that you can reach all of the corners and that your joystick doesn't feel like it's functioning weirdly. It's also good to note that there's also a joystick button. Press down on, literally push down on this joystick button, and make sure that since it's another GPIO, make sure that the one in the middle is the same. It gets asserted whenever the joystick button is pressed. Then we have our buzzer. Tilt left and right to set a specific note. Tilt up and down on the joystick to set an octave. And then when you're ready, press B2 to start buzzing. This buzzer will dynamically adjust to the new note that you have chosen. Finally, we have the light sensor, which is literally it's what it says on the tin. One way that you could test this, and I'm not going to do it here because of awkward lighting, but you could take a flashlight or take the flashlight on your phone and literally shine it on this little guy that's right here. Make sure that this guy, when you cover it entirely, you get no lux, and then when you don't cover it, you get some. In a brighter lit room than this one, typical values are between 100 and 500. If you shine this directly in front of a light bulb, you'll get values into the thousands. Make sure that all of these work. This is a simple program that we wrote to test your board. Thank you very much.